look who's here. Double Trouble back to lay the smackdown on yesterday's race and drop some knowledge on you hubsters. By the way, we're wearing pink in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. My mom, Claire, close to being a 5-year survivor. I know your beautiful mom, Belle, is too.
Yeah, we are. We're going on 5 years of that, and it's been awesome. It's a great month to bring awareness to breast cancer. Yep.
And Larry's here just to honor the cause.
Thank you for wearing pink.
Appreciate your support. All right, boys. Time for the Castrol Edge move of the race. Restart with 23 laps to go now. Jimmie Johnson got beat on this a week ago, not this week. He restarts third, gets the lead back right there on lap 1. Keselowski and Kasey Kahne put up a good fight, but Jimmie takes the win.
Well, I think yesterday it didn't matter. 2 tires, 4 tires, fuel only. Take one of his tires away. I think he was going to do exactly what he did to get his second win of 2011. Just absolutely, basically did the same thing that Brad Keselowski did in the Nationwide Series race on Saturday.
Ellie, let's take a look at Jimmie Johnson's chase statistics. They are just nothing short of amazing. 74 starts. 20 wins.
I just think while we're looking at all these things with Jimmie Johnson, we need to be playing the Jaws theme song from their movie. He just seems to get stronger as the chase goes on. I remember it was a couple weeks ago after New Hampshire, everybody was going,
29 points out of the lead.
29 points out of the lead, and what was going to happen, and what's wrong with the 48, and he and Chad are fussing, and here you go 2 races later. He was dominant at Dover. He didn't need that last caution, then come back to Kansas and get the maximum points. I mean, great job by the 48 team.
And hard to believe that's his first non-restrictor plate win in over a year. He won at Talladega back in April, but the last time he won at a non-restrictor plate track was Dover last September.
Kyle Petty on NASCAR Victory Lane said, good God, man, it's been 21 races. Where have you been?
Longest losing streak of his career.
All right, Jeff Gordon was running 15th with 5 to go, but lost an engine and finished a devastating 34th.
Started seeing smoke inside the car. You know, we had a really bad restart there and got shuffled back, and our day was pretty much over anyway. I mean, we were going to finish maybe 15th or something, but you know, right there, I started smelling. It smelled like oil, burning oil. So I saw the oil temp start to come up and felt like it was a matter of time before it blew up. But got to thank Quaker State because that thing lasted a lot longer than I thought it would.
Well, Elliott, he's now 47 points back. Are his championship hopes over?
My opinion is yes. I mean, you heard Jeff Gordon even say in that interview that they were almost done anyway. They were going to finish 15th, but after the blown motor that sits him way back in the field, it's that he's 47 points out is a lot, Larry, but when you have to jump as many people as he would have to jump in the next couple races to try to get back in his title chance hopes, to me, I think the 24 team is over with for this year's championship.
Yeah, he was one of those drivers. I don't think he needed those last cautions. Of course, it all ended up being for naught with losing an engine with 3 laps to go, but he was absolutely terrible on restarts. You heard it in his interview there. It seemed not to matter whether it was 2 tires, 4 tires, or fuel only. He just could never get going on restarts, which has been the Achilles heel a lot this year for Jeff Gordon.
It's time now for our Dodge Guts and Glory feature. Now, watch Carl Edwards. He's going to get loose coming off turn 4. Matter of fact, he said after the race, I went down into turn 1 and I thought, I can't be that bad, can I? Kevin Harvick also not handling. You see him there in the middle, just to back out of it, getting loose. Now, Carl Edwards took the free pass on lap 221 after getting a lap down, and he battled back to finish 5th.
The seas parted, and I just left the throttle down. We had two fresh Goodyears on the right side. Bob and I were just talking about what we did wrong. We just had the wrong setup in the car, and Bob made big changes throughout the race, which I'm very grateful for. Usually he won't make the big changes because then you can get yourself really, really messed up. But he was prepared. I feel like we won the race. I mean, I feel like we ought to be taking pictures and drinking champagne. I mean, it's an unbelievable gift to have finished 5th.
All right, Larry, he says we feel like we won the race, but the debate in our production meeting was, are they leaving too many points on the table, or are they overcoming adversity the way championship teams do?
I think that's a classic case of yesterday. And the real issue with as bad as that race car was for Carl Edwards in the beginning of that race, we only had 2 cautions in the first 205 laps. But I think having those cautions late in the race, that played in their favor because it gave him an opportunity to work on that race car, and he continued to put fresh tires on that 99 car when a lot of the other drivers stayed out. But I think when you look at the fact that that's the only driver that has 4 top 10s and a lot of them top 5s in this chase, I think that's one reason he's up there leading the points with 6 races to go.
I think if they get to Homestead and they're able to win the championship, Steve, I think this is a race they can look back on to give them that possibility to run the way they did and to keep battling. They showed a lot of heart yesterday in making changes and get a really good finish for their team. That shows that Carl and his team did not give up. They didn't get frustrated with each other. They worked on the car.
Didn't panic.
They didn't panic. But if they win the championship, it's races like this, how you battle back and persevere and get a good finish over that makes you a championship contending team.
Well, guys, we saw the footage of Kevin Harvick's day. He was much like Carl Edwards. He, too, battled back. He finished 6th. Now, Harvick was pleased to be leaving Kansas with that finish.
Obviously, this hasn't been a great track for us in the past, but to come out of here with knowing how we were there a couple runs from the end, only giving up 1 point to the 99, knowing that the mile-and-a-half stuff has been really good for them, and finishing 6th is a good day.
He got you on the last lap. How'd that happen?
Yeah, I knew we were in that zone of where we needed to come in and pit, but it was going to be close, and then the guy behind me didn't come to pit road, so I stayed out, and those guys had 2 tires there at the end.
Hey, Elliott, I look at Kevin Harvick. You know, they haven't been fantastic either, but, boy, they've been consistent first 4 races.
I actually talked to Kevin this morning, and he said, to get out of Kansas with this finish, they were happy to wait. They also rebounded and made a good finish, but they feel like they got some tracks coming up that they feel really good about. As far as Charlotte, they won here in the spring. They always run good at Talladega. He's always good at Martinsville.
Won there in the spring.
That's right.
Yeah.
He felt like to get through these first couple of tracks where his better tracks are toward the end of the chase, they feel like they're in really good shape right now.
And they had some interesting strategy, and I think a lot because they felt like they did not have a car that could win the race. He stayed out, I think, as well as Kurt Busch there with 50 laps to go. So on that 5th caution with about 28 laps to go, they came to pit road and got 4 tires, and then like Carl Edwards also pitted on that caution right before that green-white checkered. So they had some interesting strategy, but I think that strategy came from not having a car that they felt like could win the race.
Seems like he won the 600 at Charlotte, too, didn't he?
He did, yeah.